So I got something in from 5K Toys. This is Shaft from Youngblood, created by Loose Collector. Let's check it out. What's up, everyone? So first, a little bit of background about Youngblood and Shaft. They were created in the 90s by a company that was new, Image Comics, that was created by a lot of creators from Marvel, like Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Willis Portacio, Rob Liefeld, Mark Silvestri, and there were plenty others. And Youngblood was Rob Liefeld's creation. And here's Shaft. He is the leader. Another figure that's already out is Die Hard. He's basically, if I remember correctly, an android. And the team Youngblood, I would say they're similar to either Fantastic Four or kind of a recognized Avengers team. And a lot of them are considered celebrities, so way before the boys. Shaft here doesn't have any superpowers, so you can somewhat consider him like Hawkeye or Green Arrow, but he is a leader of the team. He was part of the FBI before he was recruited. But let's take a look at the packaging. So we have Liefeld Extreme Universe Collection Youngblood. Here's a picture of Shaft. Kind of pay attention to his costume because it will change on this packaging. But there's his name. You see the figure and pretty much everything he comes with. Platinum Studios, Liefeld, Loose Collector. Here on the top, again, we have Liefeld, Youngblood, and warning, choking hazard. Here we have a picture of, a different version of Shaft's costume. Youngblood again. Here in the back, another version of Shaft's outfit. Liefeld kind of changed his outfit a lot throughout the 90s. Not just in the comic book series, but in some of the platinum editions or whatever when he tries to revive Youngblood. But here you see a little bit of bio, so you can pause it if you want to read it. One thing I did catch that I guess Loose Collector didn't is a little typo because they forgot the T here in Shaft. But you see some other legalese, and then barcode on the bottom, and then yet another different image of Shaft. But yeah, let's check him out. Here we have Shaft out of the package. You get a better look at the figure. He does come with 2 head sculpts, 3 arrows, his quiver, and a harness, his bow, 2 hands to hold the bow, an armband, wrist guards, his belt, and plenty of other different hands. Couple open hands, relaxed hands, and fists, and I think they're able to hold the bolts that you can have him look like he's aiming. I haven't watched really any reviews, so hopefully the body does come off easily so I can put the belt on. I'm sure the harness and the armband and the wrist guards or wristbands should be easy. So yeah, let me get them out of package, get some of these accessories put on, and let's check them out from there. Okay, so finally got all of his accessories on. The shoulder harness, the belt, those were easy to do. What took me the longest was his little wristbands. Now, just in my opinion, it would have been better if Loose Collector had them already on. That way they would be shaped to how the forearms are, than just to be kind of the circles. Again, I'm going to blame my hand issues with trying to get these things back, the wristbands on. But yeah, the body comes off real easily to put the belt on. And then for the shoulder harness, you just move the arms back and put it on. That was pretty easy. Even this armband was easy to slip on. And in case you do decide to get shaft, this is part of the armband that goes on the inside of the arm that doesn't have all these little bolts or shells. So just letting you all know that. But overall, I think shaft looks pretty awesome. There are some washes in some places on his costume, even on his hands. There are some little light black washes, and even in his hair there's some different washes there. Now, one of the things that strikes me as strange, the arrows that are in this quiver, they're all red. And that always somewhat struck me as strange because, okay, so here you have the arrowhead, here's the shaft, and the shaft, it doesn't have any feathering at the end. So did they just kind of do that on the quiver just to, I don't know, make them look like arrows? And why didn't they put them on these? There are 3 of them. So yeah, that's kind of strange, again, in my opinion. But like I was saying earlier, a lot of the details nice, even in the belt. All these little pouches, the little buttons or whatever, has a little bit of paint on them on each one, which is pretty cool that they do take the time to even do the ones that are in the back. Yeah, I think he looks fantastic. I was messing with his articulation earlier. It's pretty smooth. His bow here is attached on one side, which, too bad they couldn't make it to where you could put the bow on either side, because I guess Shaft is ambidextrous, because first issue of the 90s comic, he holds it in his right hand, so I'm guessing he was left-handed. But then I've also seen drawings later that he holds the bow in his left hand. So I'm just going to say he's ambidextrous. But yeah, a lot of the paint apps, washes all around is really nice. The whites are definitely, white. There might be a little bit of washing going on there. I don't know how much it's just the light hitting it. But yeah, let's take a look at his articulation. One thing that will be slightly annoying is the belt, since it does kind of float around. I mean, it's not a big deal, and it's not really a round shape, so it shouldn't really turn as much. The armband might move around, but again, that's fine. The head basically comes on like well, there went that. A ball peg here at the neck, and then another joint here at the bottom of the neck. So you will get a lot of movement in Shaft's head. He'll look up pretty well, and I just noticed his hand fell off. I saw his hand for a second, and when I tried to grab it, it fell, and I'll just have to get it later because at this point of juncture, it's unreachable to me. So I'll have to wait till I'm done with this. So I'm going to use one of his open hands. But back to what I was saying about his head, he will look up, pretty good. His chin can pretty much almost be buried into his chest. There is a pretty good amount of tilt, and of course he can look, side to side. And just keep in mind, since his neck will move also, you might want to make sure, depending on which way you have him facing, that his neck is kind of facing the same direction, or he will look kind of strange. The arm will go all the way around, and there is a little bit of a butterfly joint in here. It kind of works okay going back, a little bit, going forward. There is a bicep swivel and double elbow, which pretty much goes all the way, and then the hands are attached on a hinge and peg, so they can either go in and out or up and down, and you can change hands pretty easily. You don't really need to heat them up, at least I don't. Even with my hand issues, they went on pretty easy, almost like Mafex figures, but they go on nice and easy. I think the hand fell off because I didn't have the wristband pushed in far enough, but his arms will go up a little past a T-pose. It's almost, you could do like a little bit of a Y, but yeah, it goes a little bit past. The body will twist, the upper body will twist, so will the lower body. It'll twist a little bit, not as much. It definitely has some nice tilting from side to side and good hula hoop. He does have a pretty good ab crunch and a really good back bend, but you will see a little bit of gapping here, depending on your pose, and if you take a photo of him, you may not see the gap, but yeah, he has pretty good upper body articulation. The leg will come up to here and all the way out for the splits. Not really any for the back, since he does kind of have a molded butt shape. There is no thigh cut, so I was wrong about one thing. He does have thigh swivel. It definitely hidden very well behind the thigh pads or pouches. I just didn't think there really was, because the amount of twist you kind of got here in the area where the leg joins to the pelvis, but as you can see, after moving it a few times, it does have a thigh swivel. So yeah, I just wanted to show you all that little correction. But here in the pelvis, you can get a lot of movement, a lot of turning, so that is totally fine. It's actually really good. Double knee will go up to about there, and there is a cut at the calf, so that will swivel side to side. The feet will go down about this much, comes up pretty good, and can pretty much rock side to side. There is no toe hinge. For a little bit of size comparison, we have Shaft standing next to Marvel's Power Princess and Marvel's Warbird. And here's Shaft standing next to Marvel Legends She-Hulk and Marvel's Red She-Hulk. Here's Shaft standing next to Star Wars Black Series AT-AT Driver and Star Wars Black Series Sabine Wren from Rebels. And here is Shaft standing next to CT Toys, Superman, and a Plunderling. Here we have Shaft in this one pose where I'm trying to somewhat recreate the cover from Youngblood #1. I did what I could with the figure. Shaft looks awesome. The figure is, I think it's fantastic, but I do have some nitpicks. Like earlier in the video, I think the wristband should have already been put on. That way they could have somewhat taken mold to the wrist area. But I don't know, maybe it's because of me and with my hand issues. I did somewhat struggle getting those on. Everything else, like the shoulder harness, the other armband, even the belt was easy. But another nitpick that I do kind of have is that as easy as the hands are able to be removed and changed, they kind of do come off a little bit too easy, even if the figure falls just a little bit, or you're trying to position the arms how you want, or the however you want the hands. They just kind of come off a little bit too easy. But that's kind of, I don't know, my opinion. I don't know if anybody who else got this figure has experienced the same thing, but a lot of his other joints in the legs, arms, body, in the neck, and the feet, they move real smooth, pretty easy. It's not really loose at all. I just think the overall fantastic figure, but there are just some little flaws, not enough for me to not want it. But again, I got this figure more for nostalgic reasons, because I did collect Youngblood at the beginning in the 90s, along with some of the other titles. So if you noticed in his left hand how he was holding the arrows, pretty much this is how he does it. This is his right hand, and you can see the holes. Now, would I recommend this figure if you were around in the 90s and you liked Youngblood, or you're a fan of Rob Liefeld? Then yeah, you might want to get it. I liked Youngblood. I know a lot of people kind of crap on Liefeld's drawing, where he's a little weird on some of his anatomy, and I will agree, I like the figure. I'm not going to get them all, because 70 for each of these figures, well, for Shaft and Die Hard, they come with a good amount of accessories, but I don't know if each one is quite worth 70. I definitely wanted to at least get one of them. Now, next up is Chapel and Badrock, and I kind of do want Badrock. He's a huge character, and I like having huge characters. They're fun to do some photograph with against other characters. But I think he's going to be over the $100 mark, so I'm definitely going to have to think about that when pre-orders goes up. But if I don't get them, I'm definitely going to be okay with just having Shaft. I think they might do the female character And if they do release her, I will most likely get her, because Loose Collector and some of these other companies do really good with their female figures. But I think that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought about the figure in the comments below. But Simo says, collect what you like, be awesome to one another. Till the next video, I'll see you next time.